Hi, I'm Brandon Johnson, and on this very special one-hour episode of Get Out, Way Out, we have for you one very special outdoor space. It belongs to Laura and Sanford Michelman, and this project is going to be huge.
They want to know when their pool slide's going to be done.
Bye!
And we know the plans from designer Tom Stout are going to be even huger.
And for something very special, we're also going to show you yard after yard of incredible finished outdoor living spaces. It'll be tours, inspiration, and great ideas from our top team of Get Out designers.
Now, there's a lot to do, so let's get to it. Hey everyone, welcome to Get Out, Way Out. Today, Laura and Sanford Michelman have decided to give their backyard the royal treatment, complete with an outdoor living room, kitchen, cabana, pool spa, and for the kids, an outdoor rock climbing wall, an obstacle course, and a zip line. So the Michelmans have summoned their design artist, Tom Stout, to see if he can transform this tropical fiasco into a modern, elegant outdoor paradise fit for a king and all his court.
When we first bought the house, we really fell in love with the insides of it. There were sections of the outside that we really liked, but certain portions, such as the pool and the pool cave, if you will, that dark, dingy part, we really didn't like it too much. It was a little Tom Sawyer-like, and it didn't match an English Tudor house.
What is the biggest thing that you guys want to change about your backyard?
You're looking at it, that rock right there.
All that rock, man.
All that rock.
The faux rock.
The faux rock, exactly.
The thing that I don't like about the rock is it doesn't look like natural rock to me. It's very orange and it looks too massive for the property.
And then Laura decided, well, if we're going to do the pool, we might as well do the front of the house. And if we're going to do the front of the house, we might as well do the side of the house. And the next thing you know, we're talking to Tom.
Bye!
It's a big, big project. It's the biggest one I've had, actually.
That's saying a lot because designer Tom Stout has a big resume. His main focus is here.
We don't like the rock.
Just wasn't working for us.
It was a little too theme park-like.
But the rock it's actually built really well. So I kind of calmed him down a little bit, and as opposed to removing it all and replacing it, just to recolor it and tone it down. I always work with the infrastructure that's there. If it's good, if it's got good bones, then yeah, I'm all about not ripping it all out and redoing it.
The second issue, this yard is big.
Is there like 7 different areas in all of this?
I haven't counted. I think there are 7.
How are you going to tie all those together?
Yeah, we're going way out.
Third issue, most of the yard is uphill.
Literally, probably a football field length all the way up to the top. The elevation here and the elevation at the top of the hill, I think is almost 100 feet difference.
Okay.
It's a big hill.
Everything was serviced from the house. We'd constantly have to, oh, you need a soda, you got to run down to the house and get it. The phone rings, you've got to run down to the house and get it. So what we're really hoping to do is just make all of our property usable.
Okay, let's check out the plans.
All right.
Woo! Look at that.
When you walk out of the Michelman's house, you'll hit an extended patio, complete with new brickwork on the ground and a cooling shade structure overhead.
We're going to expand the patio to give you guys more room for the patio furniture and the table and chairs.
Beneath the new pergola will be an outdoor living room. And adjacent to that will be a grill, a barbecue, and the rest of a fully functioning outdoor kitchen. Step away from the patio and a new English garden will greet you.
Incorporate some roses and lavender and some herbs and, English garden stuff that makes it an English garden.
By now, we're hitting the base of Michelman Mountain. At the foot of it will be a waterfall. It's presently home to a school of koi fish. Climb a few stairs, and on the first level, we'll see a pool and a spa. Both will be receiving serious upgrades.
What we're going to do to the pool is remove as much rock as possible, repaint the rock with stain, and then the pool itself, the surface of the pool, we'll use a pebble tech or pebble sheen, which is small pebbles that it gives it a nice feel.
This is a slide, it looks like, huh?
Yeah, it is. This is a slide.
like
When
that.
the hot tub is getting moved, because the slide is going to go where the hot tub is now.
So right off this whole little path here.
Yeah,
will be
basically,
sort of the...
This will be cut off, and it'll just come right around and...
And on the same landing, you'll see one of the biggest transformations of all. An existing changing quarters will be the basis for an all-new cabana house, a place that will have a kitchen, a game room, and anything else the Michelmans might think of.
So this whole thing's going to blow out and
Yeah.
come out all the way to here?
Flat screen's over there. The bar is over here as well, right?
Kind of an indoor-outdoor
And
bar.
then sink it down.
Ascend more stairs and you're off to the second level. That's where we'll find a rose garden and assorted play areas for the kids. And on the next higher levels, we'll be reaching the top of Michelman Mountain, complete with observation decks, telescopes, and breathtaking views of the entire region.
It's looking good. Yeah,
It's looking really good.
It's going to be a huge transformation.
So, with the plan approved, it's time to get started. First thing, the pool.
When it comes to their pool and spa, the Michelmans have a world of options. Just ask some of our illustrious Get Out designers who have a million ways to cool off out back. I'm here with Scott Cohen. There's an incredible pool, water slide, and jacuzzi all tied in together. Now, it's kind of similar to the Michelmans. Is this real rock?
This backyard is a tropical theme or a natural theme. We're looking to soften all of our edges. These are actually all manufactured stone. There's no real stone here. We built this on site using concrete and steel. In this case, we've got a rock arch over the slide. So as you come shooting down the slide, you hit this tube, you get hit with this waterfall in the face. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, and the slide also has a very organic look. It's a design the Michelmans might want to check out before they jump in.
One of the cool things that you're talking about is your incorporation of slides with this retaining wall. Now the Michelmans are going to be putting in a slide. Now this slide, it looks like it's part of the natural rock itself. It's not a separate slide. How did you go about doing that?
We wanted this slide to feel really organic, and this slide is constructed out of gunite, and then we used concrete paints and splatter paint. It's actually a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
And then it's coated with a smooth coating, keep it slick and smooth for a wild ride down the slide.
For more ideas, let's check in with designer Lois Mancuso to see her use of a water feature in another great backyard.
Obviously, this back wall, this retaining wall here is made with a very specific type of stone. What kind of stone is it?
It's a ledger stone. This is a natural stone.
Natural, okay. And then you have 3 sheer descents coming off there. They give it kind of a nice, tranquil, calm feeling.
Well, and it's great because, again, when the doors are open, you get that wonderful sound of water.
Right.
It's great.
For other cool tips and techniques from our designers, log on to our website at hgtv.com/getout. Meanwhile, back to the Michelmans, let's talk rock.
Tom, is all of this going to go?
We're going to get rid of probably a third of it with jackhammers.
With jackhammers. Ooh, that'll be fun.
I'm excited about the entire project, but what am I most excited about is when it's all done, having the time to hang out there with friends and family and be able to utilize a space in an enjoyable, inviting, and fun way.
The operation here at the Michelmans is officially underway. From the logistics to the landscaping to the construction to the finishing, it is all going to be mammoth. Now, how much so? Well, while you take a short break, we'll still be working.
Coming up, get ready. Tom and the Michelmans are about to hit some serious roadblocks. In fact, someone's going to be looking for a new place to live. Meanwhile, we'll get even more new ideas from our top team of outdoor designers.
We're just in a wonderful time because the sky is the limit.
All that when we return to Get Out, Way Out.
Tom Stout has big ideas for Sanford Laura's backyard, the patio area being one example.
And of course, it'll be more than a mere patio. It'll be a full-blown outdoor kitchen. Now, before we get tips about other outdoor kitchens from our talented Get Out designers, let's see what Tom has planned for the Michelmans.
Look at that. So we're going to extend the patio and make more room for the furniture and the table and chairs. We're also going to create a better cooking barbecue area. We're going to make a countertop, a sink down there, and a fridge.
An outdoor kitchen.
And the patio cover, it'll help really shade off the area so you can be out here during the summer.
We had a barbecue section that was not really functional. It wasn't something that looked like it matched the rest of the house, and the brick patio portion of it went halfway. Laura's vision was to move back the patio so we had more space. Barbecue, what's the plans for the barbecue?
Taking the barbecue from here and making this area a sink area and have the area behind me be a cabinet and having the barbecue in through here. And then we could plant behind it to mask the backside so you don't look at the backside.
What a project that you have in front of you, my friend.
You know, just put one brick there. Just tie it in here.
So we have to set the flexion right now.
So here we are in the kitchen area, Tom. Now, it looks like they just put this in. This is fresh. There's still some cement is still damp. What kind of stone is this?
This is high desert.
High
it's
desert.
Select pieces. It's nice and thick. Gives it a really good look, good solid feel.
It's got the barbecue is going to have a flagstone top, which is just looking incredible as they're building it. And it's something that I've never seen before. It's just a fabulous idea.
Laura and Sanford know that outdoor cooking can take many shapes and forms. Now, Tom has some plans, and so do our Get Out designers. Let's go check in with them and find out all the ways to take it and make it outside.
Lois Mancuso has made many of these areas, and she knows the counter is key.
Why did you guys choose granite?
You can put hot surfaces on this. If this were marble, you'd cut a lemon on a slab of marble. It's going to etch it. And granite, this is polished. As far as maintenance, I haven't done any maintenance on any of them that we've put in yet. If you had to come through and repolish this, you can.
Okay, that's great. This looks just beautiful.
Designer Scott Cohen likes the cast-in-place method, where he can implant pieces of glass on site.
This one here is actually, it's been hand seeded with large chunks of glass, and then the glass itself on these bigger pieces is backfed with fiber optic cables. And at night it really comes to life because as you move your cocktail glass around, it changes color depending on which piece of glass it's over.
No matter what kind of yard you have, if you need tips, log on to hgtv.com/getout. Tom's got his own ideas about how to put together an outdoor kitchen.
What's going on? Anything over in here?
That's just counter space. All that's counter space. And
Sink?
Sink there. We've got the fridge and the ice maker down here.
Uh-huh.
And
Soon to be.
cabinets here. And cabinets here.
Wow.
I think we managed to get in everything that we wanted to.
Miles away, Scott has something you rarely see in any kitchen, indoors or out.
Scott, I've seen grills, barbecues, ovens, but I've never seen a tandoori oven.
Tandoori is just another type of barbecuing. Indian culture, they use tandoori ovens. And it's basically a clay baking oven, and you cure it with spices and seasonings, and then you set your meat into that oven, and it just kind of smokes and cooks it slowly that way, and it's just very flavorful.
Tell us about some of the other interesting things that we can find in outdoor kitchens.
People are doing more and more in their outdoor kitchens. Rotisseries, side burners, deep fryers,
Searing units and warming drawers. It's just endless. And then roof enclosed and ceiling fans, lighting, stereo systems.
Plasma screen TVs.
Yes.
Yes, the outdoor kitchen has come a long way, very much like the indoor kitchen. Those spaces have become grand family rooms. Well, that's the same principle outside, where the kitchen and the patio are becoming entire sheltered areas.
For the patio cover or open trellis, we've got the 6x6 posts, which are really beefy and sturdy. We also use these black powder-coated brackets that make it look and feel a lot nicer than the old gray stuff. On top of that are 4x6 beams. On top of that are 2x4 beams. So it's heavy. It'll last.
The trellis just makes it feel like a room out there once the plants grow over it, and it'll soften it even more. And it's just, I'm so excited for it this summer.
This is
Brand
beautiful.
new.
Let's get into the function of this space and some of the new things that have been done and what is to come.
Well, the function of the space is to create an outdoor room for them. They've had this patio that's been half the size for 2 years now, and they just wanted to create a space that they could use out here.
Okay, with regards to the bricks that we're standing on, some of these bricks have been here for 25 years. Has it been a problem to blend them in with the new brick? Has there been any kind of, I don't know, some trouble spots?
It's been okay. At first, it was a little bit rough. I mean, you can still kind of see if you know what you're looking for. It's because the new stuff absorbs water differently than the old stuff. And we got a couple different bricks that tied in with what's here, because in this patio, there's a couple different bricks. Like you can see on this wall, there's like 2 or 3 different colors. So same thing on the ground. And what we also did was, instead of having a straight line of bricks, we, staggered it in and out, so it kind of integrated each other, made it feel a little bit nicer.
The guys were great on finding brick that was kind of had a worn look to it, and when they put it in at first, it looked a little like, oh, new patio, old patio, but it really blended in quickly. So I was glad we were able to, not have to rip out everything and start from scratch.
You know what? We're just in a wonderful time because the sky is the limit. People are willing to come outside and do all of their cooking. We've got it all.
Yes. In this day and age, if you can think it,
You can have it.
you can have it. You can build it.
Coming up, we are building it at the Michelmans, but we aren't anticipating so many challenges along the way. Luckily, we'll have more tips from our team of designers.
Usually want to use more drought-tolerant plantings on slopes.
Some of these plants we will change.
They'll give us inspiration and ideas beyond our wildest dreams. All that when we return to Get Out Way Out.
The operation here at the Michelmans is officially underway, from the logistics to the landscaping to the construction to the finishing.
At the moment, we want to get way out with planting in the softscape, gathering some tips from our Get Out designers. But first, we're here with Tom at the Michelmans, clearing the way for a beautiful English garden.
Just taking out the trees has been huge. It had made the yard feel really, really closed in. Like when we walked out the backyard, it was like this wall of rock and trees. When we would tell people about it, we would say, we have this great yard, it's almost an acre, but it's got Disneyland in the back.
Keeping with the formal English garden feel, that we're going to bring those hedges down here and basically line these pathways with them.
Okay, so you're speaking of an English garden, and all of this area will encompass. We got some pavers here.
Yeah, this is a little walkway. There's going to be a little patio here.
Okay.
With 2 chairs and a table.
Nice.
And there's another walkway here. There's going to be another walkway going this way. This is going to be plant material. We'll have the Bouquet Canyon flagstone stepping stones down there with, thyme or Corsican mint or something in there, in between there, that you can smell when you walk on it, or that it's going to be used in cooking or whatever.
We're putting in a lot of plantings that are sort of English in style, just to soften the transition from the patio to the house.
When people say English garden, what exactly does that mean?
Well, one thing, high maintenance.
Yeah.
It's a lot of flowers, a lot of plants that are, flowering at different times, different levels. This is going to be more of a formal garden.
Okay.
It's going to have hedges, boxwood hedges in here. Basically flowers, a lot of flowers.
Without great softscapes, some may say you might as well just stay indoors. To find out some other notions, let's get green with our team of professional Get Out designers.
Now, if you have kids like the Michelmans, you know it's important to pick plants that are non-toxic to youngsters. But designer Lois Mancuso knows that you can adapt your garden as your children grow.
Now, as time goes on, some of these plants we will change and just modify slightly as the children get older. And now we'll put a few plants in there to kind of touchy-feely, that have soft leaves, and maybe even some plants that if they did eat them, like nasturtiums, pansies are always good, that are edible.
An edible garden is something softscape specialist Heather Trilling knows all about.
The goal of this garden was to keep it all really drought tolerant, also having vegetables and fruit kind of throughout the garden. So we built a raised bed, which helps with pests, and then we planted a grapevine, so she gets wonderful grapes every year. We have fruit trees mixed in throughout, peach and plum, which is really nice, and she's a canner, so you can get in or start canning if you want to.
Back at the Michelmans, softscaping leads to landscaping, as we discover the many levels of this property.
The next level is the hill, where we've already done the steps with the flat landings, if you will.
Quarter of the way up, I had to ask the question. Do you guys have names for each little level or each little section?
The only thing we have is we got the way up part.
Well, along the way, you can rest on old cars, literally. The building material here is created from recycled automobile parts.
There's no metal. It's like mainly dashboards, any other plastics from a car. It's UV resistant and it's environmentally friendly, because they don't landfill the plastic stuff. So they recycle it into these.
I just liked the idea that it was recycled, and I liked that it's smooth. Like, we looked at the regular railroad ties too, and
it is smooth.
Seemed like you'd get splinters in your feet if you had bare feet. And
that's good for the kids too, so the kids won't get hurt either.
Yeah.
How do you want to use the space?
I don't know, maybe we'll put a telescope up here and look at the stars.
This path just keeps going. We got another area yet to explore.
Go higher.
It's literally probably a football field length all the way up to the top. How many steps? 200 and something.
200.
Yada, yada, yada. It just keeps going and going and going. It's going to be a really, really awesome spot when we get done. I would definitely pitch a tent up here and hang out for a while.
Planting with little shade and intense sun is a challenge. For tips on waterless wonders and angled acreage, let's check in with designer Scott Cohen.
Usually want to use more drought-tolerant plantings on slopes because they're at an angle facing the sun. They get a lot more heat and they dry out quicker. In this case, we've got some hibiscus to give us more of a tropical feel. The plant with the colorful foliage behind that is called a Tropicana cana. It has a vibrant burnt orange flower on it when it's blooming. It's beautiful. The ground cover that's filling in at the bottom is called myroporum. It's a little white to baby blue flower, which is nice. The purple is a variety of lantana that trails. It's very drought tolerant, not particularly fragrant. Some people don't like that, but on a slope works out great.
Right.
Plus, rabbits don't seem to eat it, which is important in this area where they seem to just come devour these plants. They're cute, but boy, they drive me nuts.
How about some tips for people with small yards? Lois tells us that sometimes you can have too much color.
When you look around at this space, when you think about design and what you're going to put into it and where to go when you're planning a design like this, can you imagine if we just did really bright colors back here, the effect that it might be a little bit startling and probably not real relaxing.
Right.
Need tips? We got them. Check out hgtv.com/getout.
Usually on Get Out Way Out at this point, we're at the halfway mark, but on the Michelman project, we still have 80% of this yard to go.
And we have a lot more backyard tips to cover.
Sedum reflexum, blue spruce, good choice. Succulents, good job. Where am I going?
Coming up, it's fire, it's water, and some creatures that are about to relocate.
We're going to cut the koi pond at about a third and move the koi to the front.
Plus, great outdoor ideas from our expert designers. All that and more when we return.
Water and fire. They're working together more and more on every great yard we see.
We definitely want to have some sort of water elements out there. I just want it to be softer and more stream-like.
So, Tom, do we have a wishing well here, or is this a koi pond? What the heck's going on here?
We're going to cut the koi pond at about a third and move the koi to the front.
Really?
Yes, and then the waterfall is going to continue to be a waterfall, but this area is going to be a planter bed so we can hide the rock, because the rock is the biggest nemesis of the whole project, the whole reason it started, right?
Okay, time to swim over to designer Scott Cohen for tips on water features and those who live in them.
Well, Scott, I've seen infinity edge pools, but I've never seen an infinity edge pond. This is amazing.
You're going to love this. Koi actually make really great pets. They're very colorful to watch. Kids love them. They'll actually come up to the surface when you go to feed them. You want to try?
I'd love to. Here you go, fishies. Here they come.
Now let's check in with Heather Trilling to see what she would do with a smaller koi pond.
So, Heather, when it came to the design of this was a high traffic area zone, right? So would that create some challenges for you when you put this together?
Yes, definitely. We wanted it to have little stops along the way for people as they came into the property. And we thought a koi pond would be great. It's really easy to build something like this. You just need a wood structure. You know, basically you build the wood paneling on the outside. On the inside is you can get at a local aquarium shop a fiberglass insert that works great. And you just throw some plants in there and throw some fish in there. And underneath the fiberglass, you leave some area to keep your pump and your filter and all that.
Right.
And it's just a really easy way to make a great water feature.
When it comes to the yin and yang of outdoor design, when there's water, we gotta have fire.
Fire seems to encourage conversation. There's a certain intimacy. It does create an ambiance for the area, not just for warmth and actually elongating the length of time you can use the yard, but also from a light standpoint. You know, the lights just dance off the walls from the flickering flames, which is really nice.
Aesthetically, it's beautiful.
Yep. But we're seeing fire and water used more and more as a combination. People are asking for fire pits, fire features next to the pool.
This fire pit is sort of the centerpiece of this area. We had this little niche kind of behind the pool, and we, you know, sort of did this curved seating that kind of wraps around this whole area and around the fire pit. And it's great because it's a nice tile and sort of earth tones. They never get hot, so you can put your drink there, your feet, and also sometimes we made a custom cover so that we can make it a coffee table when he doesn't want to have a fire going.
I love the feel of fire and water. That combination is just so earthy. So to be able to add a fire feature is wonderful, and it doesn't have to be built in.
To my left here, looks like a portable fireplace almost.
It's like a little fire pit.
Just a little fire pit. Yeah, there's
portable
fire pits, fireplaces.
Yes, the trend of movable features is in full swing, and Heather thinks she knows exactly why.
It's nice to use portable things because in a smaller space, maybe you want to move things around or, you know, you redecorate. You know, you don't always want to be set.
And you can actually put a lot of candles in there too if you want to.
That's a good idea.
For a really romantic look.
Sure.
Log on to hgtv.com/getout for tips, pictures, and more. Outdoor fireplaces often end up being the cornerstone of any party, creating a very social vibe.
You know, as fireplaces become more and more popular in outdoor design, and they're growing rapidly, we're building several of them every month. There's many different kits and systems that have come into play that make it a little bit easier for us, or we'll build them from scratch using our own custom structural engineering. It really depends on how massive we want that structure to be.
At the Michelmans, Tom combines an old structure with a new unit.
Well, what we did was, instead of, the city is very strict about the size of the flute going up, and it has to be a certain diameter and all this. So what we did was we bypassed that and used this self-contained unit that doesn't have to have a flute going up. We need to still face it with a brick. There's going to be brick going up. It's going to look like this, step back.
Right.
It's going to come down this way, and then we're going to put a different piece of stone here that's going to come out a little bit further.
Now, how about this pergola here? This is beautiful.
New.
It also has some heat lamps, I see. Key. And you know what? Just by taking a few steps, little dance, you can tell.
Well, it's time to see what Tom has checked off his to-do list.
So the plants have been scraped, the landing's done, the irrigation is completed on the back hill. We have gotten the steps done, got demo done for all the rock work that is so much. We've calmed that down a little bit, and the pool's been emptied.
The kids are loving the construction because they're kids and, you know, they love to climb on the dirt and run down the hill and ride their bikes down it.
Ah, that was good.
Coming up.
The sod sofa.
Sod sofa. I love it.
And back to the Michelmans, Tom has one plan: fast and forward.
Full on, because we got to get it done fast.
All that and more when we return to Get Out, Way Out. If great outdoor spaces are becoming a collection of great outdoor rooms, then the Michelmans are going to have themselves an outdoor mansion. There are so many areas that need attention.
So down there is pretty much, it's almost complete, but when we get up in this area, boy, the work ahead of us, or I should say maybe you guys, is going to be pretty intense, huh?
A lot of work left to go. What's going through my mind, is it ever going to be done?
Right. Though it may not look like a lot has been done, a lot actually has been done, a lot of it, and you have to begin at the beginning, and that is the just tearing out the stuff and trying to sort of put in the outline of what's next.
We've still got a big chunk of the work left, probably 60-70% of it left, so that's where we're going from here.
This uphill adventure is a far cry from one of Tom's other recent projects. It was a lavish property neighboring a stunning golf course.
The ultimate goal here was to create this space as far south as possible towards the golf course so that you have a view down the fairway to the ocean.
Like the Michelman project, this design did have its hills and valleys, including an extreme slope that Tom made lush, cutting new pathways alongside an amazing wall with the strength of a city structure. 10 anchoring beams, each 2 feet wide, ground the massive wall a full 25 feet into the ground.
After the wall came up, we basically cut the pathways so that we wouldn't have too high of a wall here and too high of a wall down here. We kind of try to equalize it, and basically brought in 180 tons of boulders to do this entire walkway.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of rock.
Across town, there's a lot of rock of a different sort. This is another example of a great stone wall. And the cool thing here is that this whole wall is made out of recycled concrete.
This was in their entire backyard prior to the pool, and we definitely wanted to recycle it. We didn't want to just haul it away and add it to a landfill. So we wanted, at the same time, we wanted to terrace out this hill to make a pathway for their dogs. So we used all that concrete. We just cracked, we broke it up into pieces and we mortared it, and it was perfect. We didn't have to buy anything, and we have a huge retaining wall now from
you
the
can
backyard.
add beautiful flowers and plants and all sorts
we have
of stuff.
pockets. You can plant actually in the pockets of the retaining wall. Well, another advantage is that when you stack it up, like on the surface of concrete, it's very gray, kind of dull. It doesn't have a lot of variation. But when you cut into it, it actually has lots of different rocks within it. So when it's stacked up as a retaining wall, you see all these beautiful rocks kind of against, sort of a backdrop. And it's really pretty to look at.
Elsewhere, designer Lois Mancuso shows us how a low wall in front of a big wall can create depth and hide an eyesore with 2 rows of foliage.
They did a great job in designing this because they put in a shorter wall here, a small planter area, instead of just putting one big straight wall up, which would be kind of ugly. And that gives us the opportunity to hide it.
It's often forgotten that plant life is also comfort in a great backyard. What's better than laying out on the grass? And when it's a very special grass, well, then you're almost making furniture out of your lawn.
This is like a love seat / mini couch that is built into the hill.
Yeah.
And the cushion is this beautiful grass here.
A sod sofa.
Sod sofa. I love it.
This is just like the grass Tom put in the back of the Michelmans.
Did you have to use a special type of grass?
Yeah, this is the grass that we used in the front yard as well. It's called creeping red fescue.
Okay.
And it's one that you don't have to mow. And it tufts up like this, and it's really a great grass. It's drought tolerant. And a lot of, another element here was having a lot of drought tolerant plant material, so that this place is so big that it's just a waste of water.
Right. This grass kind of looks like my hair in the morning. It's not too different.
From our sod sofa to the real thing, let's check back in with designer Heather Trilling.
This is a perfect example of how, though it's an open space, you can create it into a room just by the addition of furniture, really, right?
Yeah, sometimes homes just sort of lead out into a space and it doesn't really have a purpose. So to sort of give it a purpose and create different areas, you can do that with furniture, you can do that with fountains, planters, pots, different things that sort of create a feeling of an outdoor room.
As opposed to having to put up walls,
exactly.
You kind of frame the area. And you're doing that with various pots and ceramics. These things actually add texture, they add color. Heather, talk to us about how outdoor furniture has sort of evolved over the years.
Well, there's some great new products out now and materials. A lot of people like iron furniture, but it's really heavy. It doesn't withstand the elements as much as maybe some other more recent materials that have come out. And it's very difficult to move around. It often scratches stone. People don't want to do that, obviously. So this aluminum material is very easy to lift. Anyone can lift it, and it does great with sun beating on it, rain, snow.
Is this made of a sunbrella type material?
This is a sunbrella. It won't fade. It won't, if it gets wet, it dries nicely. It can basically weather all the elements.
Well, regarding most of the Michelman yard, Tom can only now dream of addressing finishing features like outdoor furniture. Nope, at the moment, he's a long way from that.
All right, well, for most families, down there is enough for a backyard. But with the Michelman project here, we are just in the beginning of a major, major transformation. Are you going to take this like one step at a time, like you guys are doing some stuff here, then work your way up?
No, we're going to do both. We got to start as soon as we get permits for the house, for the pool house. It's full on because we got to get it done fast.
Fair enough. All right, man. Well, I'll let you go and get started.
Tom wants it done fast, but he's about to face his biggest challenge yet. Tips, tips, and more tips. Plus, information from our designers. Check it all out at hgtv.com/getout. Coming up, plans for some amazing outdoor structures, plus green ideas to make it all eco-friendly. Meanwhile, the Michelman's pool house is taking over the project. You'll see when we return to Get Out, Way Out.
Koi ponds, water slides, putting greens, and more. What is it that makes a yard a get-out yard?
Well, for the Michelmans, there's a unique part of the project that seems to have taken on a life of its own. It's not the giant rock, and it's not one of the playground areas for the kids. No, it's something that has become quite special for the man of the house.
The bigger part of the plan, for me, isn't so much the pool, is the way we're doing the pool house.
The pool house, I mean, that's a whole family kind of thing, and friends and everything.
The pool house is replacing a structure that was a shower and a changing room molded like a cave.
Okay, so the pool house, it was just to have a little place up there to hang out while they're watching the kids play. And Sanford came up with the idea to make a two-story house so that he could have his poker room upstairs. It's basically going to be a 20 by 20 square box that faces the pool and the hot tub, and the fire pit will be off to the right. As far as the surface goes, we've got the flagstone here, and the flagstone out there, so trying to keep it related.
They had to destroy the old structure, but kept the back retaining wall to prevent the hill from collapsing.
With a nice indoor-outdoor bar area, a sitting area, you know, a TV, etc. on the bottom part. So when you're up there, you can either be involved in the pool or be in the pool house, but not feel detached from one part of the activity to the other. And the ceiling, the roof of the lower structure will be the balcony to my game room.
Sanford is very excited about his own space. He wants to decorate it, have his poker games out there.
I'm actually having a lot of fun looking at pictures and trying to come up with what the concept will look like.
The actual structure inside is going to have, you know, the doors that are going to fold open.
Now, it's true that most people won't be building an entire house in their backyard, but you can create some effective outdoor rooms.
A pergola can do more than create shade or home for nature. It can define an outdoor space. Now, the Michelmans have some serious construction going on here, and Tom and the rest of our Get Out designers know all about that. So let's check in with them and see what really defines a unique outdoor space.
In this particular space, we have an outdoor dining room. So we added a structure above, and so it really just defines the space. This overhead pergola that's very simple in its structure. It's a redwood pergola painted. Provides a little bit of shade and also a little bit of enclosure, and it makes a room.
For many, a pergola is merely the display rack for rows of leafy shade.
The ultimate goal when you have a pergola is to have some sort of planting grow on top of it so that it's sort of a support structure for greenery. And then also we're hoping for some flowers to kind of drape down, and so we chose a trumpet vine, which has these large red flowers that kind of add a lot of upward color for the space as well.
Color, and according to designer Scott Cohen, some organic air conditioning as well.
We perspire, but plants transpire, which means they evaporate moisture. So it's kind of like nature's own little mist system, and it helps cool an area by as much as 15 degrees. It adds aesthetic value because you have the green leaves, the foliage, and purple flowers in this case.
That vine is transpiring while I'm perspiring.
Exactly. We're just a stamped concrete patio here. Spacing, sizing-wise, we want to be about 12 to 14 feet as a minimum for any patio. If you can go larger, sometimes that's better, but too large, too hot, too much concrete.
Let's talk about the design and construction of the outdoor pergola.
A lot of people think that they want to have a solid cover, and a solid cover can often trap in heat. Open shade bars give you about 50% of the shade that a solid cover does, but they do let heat out.
Heather, we've seen all sorts of outdoor kitchens, outdoor living spaces, but this is almost a mixture of both, huh?
Yeah, it is. What we did here initially is the client just extended the roof line, which is really nice because it keeps in line with the angles of the house, the architecture of the house, and also we don't have large beams, support beams, coming down into the space, which also kind of crowds the space.
Yep.
And then we added a little grill. You know, just something simple, just right in the wall.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's really nice, and you can just cook your food, and then the kitchen's right there, so you don't really need all the other things that some people put in their outdoor kitchens. And it works. It's a great outdoor living room and an outdoor dining room.
Yeah.
Those were all cool ways to get out. But at the Michelmans, getting out is now about going in, because they've truly raised the stakes on this project.
So we got a jacuzzi's going in over here, and we got the pool house, and this place just keeps going.
Well, we told you all this was big when we started, we just didn't know it was going to keep getting bigger. With all these additions to the pool house, the koi fish pond, the pool, and several other areas, this project just keeps on growing. Coming up, fun stuff going in for the kids, and the big question, will the Michelmans ever be able to finish this yard? No way to know until we return with a whole lot more here on Get Out, Way Out.
Currently, the Michelmans long for the day when all of this mess will be but a memory. But as we all know here on Get Out, Way Out, a dream of this proportion is going to take a long time to build.
I'm very curious to see how it's going to turn out. I'm looking forward to getting it done, and I'm longing for it to be done. I can't wait to fire up the grill. I can't wait to sit out there in front of the fireplace or go up into the game room. It's going to be great.
So I'm actually really looking forward to Drew's birthday, which will be in November. So it will be well finished by then, and to be able to have, you know, all his classmates over here and do some sort of like treasure hunt throughout this whole huge backyard. That's kind of a little idea I have in the back of my mind.
Well, the kids would go for that treasure hunt even now. The construction site is already their playground even at this stage. Tom has created the perfect place to explore, embrace, and most of all, just spend time being a kid.
So what we're going to do for the Michelmans kids are install a zip line, and it'll basically end up in a sand pit, so the kids will land in the sand.
Can you tell me what a zip line is?
It's a line that you hold on for dear life, and you just jump, and you just a rope ladder going up this really steep part. We're gonna have a rope ladder, and we're gonna install rock holds on the rock work that's already there now, so the kids could do all kinds of rock climbing. We'll have rope bridge. We'll have a swing, a big swing from this eucalyptus tree that's there.
Could you imagine growing up with this in your backyard?
The slide, the zip line, the climbing wall. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's gonna be big.
Big is right. But don't be thrown by the size of this yard. With careful planning, everything in Tom's plans could be scaled down and organized to fit in almost any space.
Something that really strikes me coming from the Michelmans to this particular residence is they have so much space. It's incredible. Now here, you kind of have everything that they have, but on a much smaller scale. You've really utilized every single area that you can. For people maybe on a smaller budget, you can still have the same amount of enjoyment.
Well, I really believe in any budget that you can make it work.
Why do you think people are just going so extreme these days? Why are people transforming their backyards into oases?
Yeah, I think it's because they can. Especially shows like this, people can see what's possible, and it makes them want it.
Wanting it, making it happen, and then best of all, enjoying it. That's what it's all about here on Get Out, Way Out. As we've seen time and time again, no backyard is a mere backyard. It's your home right next to your home. Your most convenient vacation destination, and perhaps best of all, it's where the family can cut loose, unwind, and simply relax.
Rotisseries, side burners,
Warming drawers.
Any nursery, they usually have these large barrels that have different water plants that do well in that region.
Wisteria will grow quickly, but it goes dormant in the winter.
The scramble was created to basically have a shortcut up the hill. The kids love it.
It's great.
A lot is in store for Sanford and Laurel Michelman, a pair of homeowners who know what will happen on that very big day. In fact, Laura's already making out the invitations.
What will I do when it's done? I'll throw a big party and say, come and see my backyard. It's been 2 years, but it's done.
When it is done, it's going to be awesome. A worthy counterpart to their classic home. No longer the eyesore out back. The finished yard will have that scaled-down rock structure, a fully reworked pool, spa, and koi pond, a beautiful outdoor kitchen and dining room, an English garden, and all those many features for the kids. Levels and levels of fantastic views, and perhaps most impressive, a 2-story pool house extraordinaire. With a list like that, it sounds like it's well worth the wait.
Well, for now, we bid farewell to the Michelmans, but rest assured, Tom Stout and his team will be busy for a while. We hope that you've been able to take some of our tools and tips of transformation and put them to work in your own backyard. In fact, if you've got the space, I expect you to get out, way out.